Honda has always been a company with a purpose that guides how we act and what we believe. We believe that everyone sharing the road should be safe. We believe it is our responsibility to help protect and preserve the environment. We recognize that climate change is a threat to our planet, and we are working hard to develop solutions that will create blue skies for our children. We believe in the power of education to transform a life and change the world. And sometimes, a young person simply needs a chance. And that learning takes many forms. We believe that strong communities are built on everyone rolling up their sleeves and getting involved. That an act of kindness can cause a chain reaction. That we each contribute to our shared success. Our purpose is to do our part to make people's lives better, hand in hand with the communities in which we work and live, to make a positive impact wherever we go. We're Honda, and we're honored to help all kinds of people reach their life's potential.
It's time to match wits with the champions in the HBCU Battle of Brains Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. Here are the teams for today's game. From Hampton University, Jerron M. Haynes, Dante Wyatt Jr., and Miles A. Cross. And here's the team from Morehouse, Charles W. Cherry III, Bernard L. Hodges II, and Evan Hudson. Now, here's the man with the questions, Brandon Alexander.
Listen to him. Listen to him. That is for you, because you have made it to the semifinals of the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge National Championship Tournament. Give them another round of applause. Now, teams, I am very excited to see both of you, right? Morehouse, you've got a long history here at the tournament, right?
Yes, sir.
That's it. Hampton, you're trying to make some new history here this year, right?
Yes, sir.
That's it. So, I know you want to get right to these questions, but I want them to know you a little bit better. Is that okay?
Works for me.
Okay, good. Let's meet the players who will be in the face-off position for both teams. Buzzing in for Hampton, we've got Dante. Yes. No, actually, I'm not going to start with you, Dante. I lied. I'm sorry. I'm going to get to you second. Buzzing in for Morehouse, we have Bernard.
Good.
Bernard, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Now, I understand you worked at a vet clinic, and you gave vaccinations to the community. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so we partnered with this project called People and Pets. It's an initiative to help homeless people and their pets who might not be able to receive the care they deserve and entitled to. So we partnered with physicians from Middle Georgia and Macon, and we gave out vaccines like flu vaccines, COVID vaccines to the people, and we gave rabies vaccines, distemper vaccines, bordetella vaccines to the dogs and cats. So.
Okay, listen, that is very noble. Thank you for that work. Give them a round of applause for that. All right, Dante, so I saved you because I want to hear about this conference presentation that you had.
Well, last week I went to a
Wait, last week?
Yes, last weekend.
And now you're here
Yes.
playing for $100,000.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
Dante.
a very quick turnaround.
That's it. Tell us about
I
it.
presented some microbiology research I was doing outside of class at the Emerging Researchers National Conference in STEM in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about your research?
Well, I was studying what type of microorganisms can degrade fucoidin, which is an algopolysaccharide.
Wow. Okay. Now, look, I'm a physicist. I don't know nothing about biology, chemistry, biomed. So that sounds very smart to me. Is that very smart?
Somewhat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right. Now, Bernard, when we flip the coin, you all won the toss. So you'll be selecting first from one of these four categories. On Vacation, USA. Encyclopedia Bacteria. Major Miscalculations. Oldest Rulers. Category, Bernard.
On Vacation, USA.
Cheer on the minor leagues, Blue Wahoos at what West Florida city, home to the Blue Angels flight team? Bernard.
Pensacola?
Yes, you're on the board. For 20th and 10, so listen to the first clue. The Edgar Allan Poe Museum and the U.S. National Aquarium are in what eastern seaboard city?
Providence.
Here's the second clue. Nighttime ghost tours are held in the Fells Point neighborhood in this city where the TV classic The Wire was set.
Baltimore.
You got 10 points, up to 20. Category.
On Vacation, USA.
Bugfest celebrates all things creepy and crawly at the Natural Sciences Museum in what capital where the NHL Hurricanes skate at home? Bernard.
Miami.
No, can you take it, Dante?
Washington, D.C.
No, it's my hometown, Raleigh, North Carolina. All right. Bernard, pick
On
again.
Vacation, USA.
Coffin races and polar plunges highlight frozen dead guy days each March in what state's Estes Park, 17 miles northwest of Boulder? Bernard.
Colorado.
That's right. Here's the bonus team. With just
Devil's
6
Tower.
people per
Devil's
square
Tower,
mile,
Devil's Tower.
light pollution is minimal, so the stargazing is spectacular at Devil's Tower in what Mountain West state?
Idaho.
No, we were looking for Wyoming there.
Wyoming, okay.
For 50 years, a seriously
Wisconsin.
lighthearted cow chip throwing contest has been held each Labor Day in what state? The Badger State.
Wisconsin.
That's right, for 10, up to 40. Category.
Major
Bernard.
miscalculations.
What city's legendary win turned to loss overnight after the equine statue it accepted as a gift turned out to be hiding Odysseus and his men inside? Bernard.
Troy.
That's right. Here's the bonus. A rival refused to buy it for
Netflix,
$50 million
Netflix.
in 2000. A regrettable choice, as what streaming service is worth $300 billion today?
Netflix.
Right, for 10. That Netflix rival was what blue and yellow video rental brand with 9,000 stores in 2004, but only one by 2019.
Blockbuster.
I still got a video I didn't return. Category, Bernard.
They're going to come for you. Major miscalculations.
Because engineers confused English and metric figures. In 1999, a $125 million orbiter was lost on its way to what second smallest planet? Bernard.
Mars.
That's right again. Bonus. Philip II named the Duke of Medina, Sidonia, a man with zero naval experience, to lead what fleet's disastrous 1588 expedition against England?
No answer.
That's the Spanish Armada. Here's part 2. Commander Raglan's orders were misunderstood, leading to the disastrous charge of the Light Brigade in what 1850s war?
Spanish-American War.
No, that was the Crimean War. All right, time to pick a category, Bernard.
Miscalculations, please.
Taped open door locks spotted by security guard Frank Wills led to a 1970s presidential scandal named for what D.C. office complex? Bernard.
Watergate.
Got it again. An error in protocol led to a power surge, leading to the world's costliest disaster, the meltdown at what Soviet nuclear power plant?
Chernobyl.
10. A U.S. ban on helium exports forced the company to re-engineer for hydrogen, contributing to the fiery end in 1937 of what Zeppelin?
Hindenburg.
You got it. 20 points. New category.
Oldest rulers.
The oldest reigning monarch in history when she died at age 96, who was also the longest reigning queen ever when she died in 2022. Bernard.
Elizabeth II.
You got it again. Queen Elizabeth II passed whose record as longest reigning female monarch ever, a reign that ended in 1901?
Victoria.
10 points. After Victoria, the longest reign of any modern queen was 57 years by what nation's Wilhelmina, now buried at Nevekirk in Delft?
Norway.
No, that's the Netherlands.
Netherlands. Okay.
You can pick again.
Oldest rulers.
Robert Mugabe was 93 years and 273 days old when he resigned as president of what nation? Dante.
Zimbabwe.
Yes, and you're on the board, team, for 5-point speech, 5-point bonus for all. 2 answers. Who are the only 2 men to be U.S. president at age 78 or older?
Joe Biden.
And Ronald Reagan.
You got Joe Biden. The other was Donald Trump. So we'll finish this bonus for the round. The third oldest president, who was 69 years old when he defeated Jimmy Carter?
Ronald Reagan.
You got it. That one's Ronald Reagan. And with that, you're on the board with 20 points here. Morehouse out in the lead with 130 at the end of round 1. Here at the start of round 2, we've put 2 new players in the face-off position. Buzzing in for Morehouse, we have Charles. Hi, Charles.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, that's good. Now, Charles, I hear you are a third-generation Morehouse man.
Yes, sir. Both my father and my grandfather went to Morehouse College.
Okay.
My father's class of 78 and my grandfather's class of 49.
My goodness, that is a rich history. Now, did you all stay in the same field?
Not exactly. My father and grandfather were in journalism. I'm in communication.
Well, I don't know. That's pretty close, right?
Close. But
Okay. Well, I look forward to reading something that you've written. Now, buzzing in for Hampton, we have Miles. Miles, you volunteered at a festival?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about it.
My bad. It was the Festival of Trees, and it's out in East Georgia.
Okay.
And it was basically just a Christmas-themed event where families would bring their kids, and they'd have games, a gift shop, shows, people dancing. It was just a good time, and I volunteered there as something just to do during winter break.
Okay. Now, what was your job at the festival?
So at first, I was working in the gift shop for like a couple hours, but then they moved me to the reindeer games portion, which is where like all the kids were playing games, and they had me making bubbles around like the kids like for hours straight. But that was really fun. I like making the bubbles. The kids loved it. It was great.
They looked at you and said, Miles, you're a bubble guy.
Literally that. Like,
I like it. All right, Miles, you don't have to fill in any bubbles here, but you do get to pick from one of these 4 categories. For whom the ball tells, don't forget the hyphen, imaginary places, schools of thought. Category.
Schools of thought.
Many widely differing political philosophies are lumped together as what ism, opposing all government institutions, including nation states. Miles.
Anarchism.
That's right. Here's the bonus. What ology, and note the spelling, was the guiding principle behind Alex Haley's Roots?
Genealogy.
Yes, 10 points. A paralogism is a false argument. What similar word is an argument based on 2 logical, true propositions that arrives at a true conclusion?
Syllogism.
You got 10 more, up to 50. Category.
Schools of thought.
Ideology, neology, sociology. Which field was the specialty of Auguste Comte and Emile Durkheim? Miles.
Sociology.
Got it again. Here's the bonus. Comte also coined what aism, directly opposed to egoism, holding that we're all obligated to serve the greater good.
Atavism.
No, that's altruism. Here's part 2. The similar phrase, the greatest good for the greatest number, sums up what you-ism championed by John Stuart Mill.
Utilitarianism.
That's right. 10 more points, up to 70. Category.
Schools of thought.
Psychology usually deals with inner mental states, but what ism views mental states as a black box, a doctrine held by B.F. Skinner? Charles,
no answer.
can you take it? Miles,
Consciousness.
we were looking for behaviorism there. Now you've still got control. Time for a new category.
Don't forget the hyphen.
What hyphenated name did Herman Melville use in the title of his seafaring epic subtitled Or the Whale? Miles,
Moby Dick.
yes, here's the bonus. What hyphenated term is used in the title of a Harry Potter book, referring to a muggle-born professor of potions?
Half-Blood Prince.
Yes, 10 points. What hyphenated adjective is used for Johann Sebastian Bach's influential work, the blank blank clavier?
Piano organ.
The well-tempered clavier. So no points there. You do still have control. Category, Miles.
Hyphen.
What's the hyphenated first name of Mr. Warner, the actor who played Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show? Charles,
No answer.
can you take it, Miles?
John Smith.
2-0 for y'all, right? Malcolm Jamal Warner. Okay, you still got control. Category.
Hyphen.
Because it was an unknown type of electromagnetic wave, Wilhelm Röntgen gave what hyphenated name to his 1895 discovery? Charles.
Ultraviolet.
No, can you take it, Miles?
X-ray.
Right. Bonus. A platonic solid exists in what hyphenated mathematical Euclidean space?
Non-Newtonian.
A 3-dimensional space. Its formal name is Rudbeckia hirta, but the state flower of Maryland is better known by what colorful feminine name?
Pink Lady.
A black-eyed Susan. No points there. New category.
Imaginary places.
Stories by Ta-Nehisi Coates locate what marvelous nation on Lake Victoria, a land whose primary deity is Bast, the panther goddess? Charles.
Wakanda.
That's right. Here's the bonus. Bast and the Wakandan deities of Thoth and Ptah migrated there from what very real ancient land ruled by Djoser 4,600 years ago?
Egypt.
10 points.
Thank you.
In the distant past, a meteorite crashed into Wakanda, an outer space object made of what element not found on Earth?
Vibranium.
Yes, all 20 up to 160. Category.
For whom the ball tells.
Pro tip, apply spin to the up to 16-pound ball to cause it to hook into the pocket, maximizing pin scatter in what sport? Miles.
Bowling.
Yes, here's the bonus. Up to 1.62 ounces and spherically symmetrical, the dimple-covered surface of what sports ball decreases aerodynamic drag?
Golf.
Yes, for 10. Using rackets with grips that include pinhold, what Olympic sport sees a 2.7-gram ball spin at up to 9,000 RPM on a top spin slam?
Table tennis.
Ping pong, table tennis, you got it. Category.
Imaginary places.
Which author imagined Baskerville Hall in Dartmoor, a home whose hound he had Holmes and Watson investigate? Miles.
Wells.
No, can you take it, Charles?
Doyle.
As in Sir Arthur Conan, and this will be the final bonus of the round. It's a 20, then 10. Listen to the first clue. In 1990, who dreamt up Isla Nublar, west of Costa Rica, the site of genetic experiments by the Engine Company?
Spielberg.
Here's the second clue. This author also imagined Engine's tourist attraction, Jurassic Park.
No answer.
The author of Jurassic Park, Michael Crichton. So, at the end of round 2, the score has tightened up considerably. Hampton, you're up to 130. Morehouse in the lead with 170 points. We're back for round 3. We've put 2 new players in the face-off position, and we're going to get to know them right now. Buzzing in from Morehouse, we've got Evan. Evan, I hear that you worked in a community cleanup. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, sir. The West End Community Cleanup, it was a great day. It was at Morehouse, sponsored or partnering with Lighthouse, on-campus community service organization, and we picked up some bags, got about a 200-300 group of brothers, and went all the way from our campus to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, picking up trash, meeting community members, talking to each other about just the ways in which we want to see a better change for our West End community.
Hey, that is very noble of you, and we appreciate that work. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Now, buzzing in for Hampton, we've got Jerron. Hello, Jerron.
Hi.
You look ready to talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. I hear that there is someone from the past that you would very much like to have met. Can you tell us about that?
One, Tupac Amaru Shakur.
Okay, now why? Why is that so important?
I would say he's one of the most interesting historical figures, at least of the last 50 or 60 years. Great music, very complex personality.
Yeah. Now, what's the question you'd ask him that no one else has asked?
Did it ever get to be too much while you were here?
That's a good question. I'd like to know the answer too. All right. I've got some different questions for you now, though. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move into round 3, where you'll select from one of these 4 categories: Broadway Boot Camp, Island Living, Black History in Music, My Presidential Medal of Freedom. Category.
Black history and music.
Cheryl Lee Ralph of Abbott Elementary starred in the original 1981 production of What I Am Changing musical about a black female trio. Evan,
No answer.
can you take it, Jerron?
Dreamgirls.
Yes, here's the bonus team. For 20, then 10, listen to the first clue. There are several musicals about which performer whose 12 adopted kids formed her rainbow tribe.
Josephine Baker.
20 points. Great job. Category, Jerron.
Black history and music.
Stevie Wonder's 1981 Happy Birthday song calls for a U.S. holiday for which activist whose January holiday was first observed in 1986. Jerron.
Martin Luther King.
Yes, and you've tied the game. 2 answers, team. A Jim Crow-era horror is depicted in what protest poem turned song, definitively recorded in 1939 by which jazz superstar?
Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday.
You got all 20, and you've taken the lead. Category.
Black history and music.
Black life in 1930s Charleston, South Carolina is musically depicted on Catfish Row in what It Ain't Necessarily So Gershwin opera. Evan,
No answer.
can you take it, Jerron?
Raisin in the Sun.
Porgy and Bess. Okay, you've still got control, Jerron. Category.
My Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Whose Medal of Freedom came in 1963, 25 years after the DAR refused to let her sing to an integrated audience at Constitution Hall? Jerron.
Marian Anderson.
Yes, here's the bonus. Ralph Bunche, Roy Wilkins, James Beckwith. Which 1963 medal winner was also the first African American to win a Nobel Peace Prize in 1950?
Ralph Bunche.
Yes, 10 points. 63 awardee James B. Conant was the first U.S. ambassador to what former country where JFK said, "Ich bin ein Berliner"?
East Germany.
No, it was West Germany. All right, you've still got control, though. Category, Jerron.
My Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Even if you don't count her Presidential Medal of Freedom, who was America's most decorated Olympic gymnast? Jerron.
Simone Biles.
That's right. Here's the bonus. Michelle Akers, Mia Hamm, Megan Rapinoe, whose medal came 10 years after she scored 2 corner kick goals at the London Olympics.
Rapinoe.
Megan Rapinoe for 10. Which awardee beat out Nazi Germany's Luz Long to win the gold in the long jump at the 1936 Olympics?
Jesse Owens.
Yes, up to 240. Category.
My Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Awarded the medal in 1964, which disability rights activist was also the first deaf and blind person to earn an undergrad degree in the U.S.? Evan.
Keller.
Yes, and that's the stopper there. Now, for 20 then 10, listen to the first clue. Which organizer of the March on Washington led the first black union in the American Federation of Labor?
Randolph.
Randolph.
Yes, all 20 points. Great job, team. Category.
Island Living.
The Amistad was detained in 1839 off Montauk Point, east of the Hamptons on what most populous New York island? Evan.
Manhattan.
No, can you take it, Jerron?
Long Island.
Long Island is your bonus. If you want to tour the 3 main U.S. Virgin Islands, you'll visit St. Thomas, St. John, and what largest of the 3?
St. Croix.
Yes, for 10. Locals and tourists are often extras on TV shows like Magnum P.I. and Hawaii Five-0, set on what island home to Governor Josh Green?
Oahu.
Got it. 10 more points. Category, Jerron.
Broadway Boot Camp.
Something Has Changed Within Me begins what signature song from Wicked? Evan.
He's on down. No answer.
Jerron.
Defying Gravity.
That's the one. Here's the bonus. 2 answers. Diana Ross and Michael Jackson ease on down the road in the film version of what all-black musical based on which author's Tales of Oz?
The Wiz of Frank Baum.
All 20 points again, up to 300. Category.
Broadway Boot Camp.
Who incorporated a dozen of her hits, including Fallin' and If I Ain't Got You, into the 2024 jukebox musical Hell's Kitchen? Jerron.
Alicia Keys.
Got it. Tomorrow we'll discover what our God in heaven has in store comes from One More Day. In what show based on a Victor Hugo book?
Les Miserables.
Yes, 10 points, and this will be the final bonus of the round. Members of Buffalo Bill's Wild West show exalt there's no business like show business to get Ms. Oakley to join them in what musical?
Annie, get your gun.
Yes, that's it. All 20 points on that bonus. And at the end of round 3, a furious comeback. Morehouse up to 200 points. Hampton in the lead with 330. Now it's time to play the ultimate challenge. Remember, teams, in the ultimate challenge, you'll have 60 seconds to answer 10 rapid-fire questions and add 500 points to your score, changing potentially the outcome of the game. And I just want to remind you, sweep the ultimate challenge and you'll earn an additional $500 institutional grant from Honda for your universities. Now, Morehouse, you're trailing, so you're going to play first in the ultimate challenge and select from one of these 4 categories. Film titles in French, books baddies, the southernmost, history's help wanted.
The southernmost.
All right, now remember, audience, I want to make sure I hear everything they say, so no sounds from behind me. Of the world's 25 southernmost countries, which one? Good luck. Completely surrounds
South Africa.
Yes. Touches the Timor and Tasman seas.
Philippines.
No. Includes most of the Kalahari Desert.
South Africa.
No. Lies between Tonga and Vanuatu.
Kiribati.
No. Was home to the flightless dodo.
Australia.
No.
New Zealand.
Is closest to Antarctica.
Argentina.
No. Has its capital at Montevideo.
Uruguay.
Yes. It's led by President Javier Milei.
Philippines.
No. Was previously known as
Eswatini.
Yes. Has a state called Amazonas.
Brazil.
Yes. Touches the Timor and Tasman seas.
New Zealand.
No. Includes most of the Kalahari Desert.
Australia.
No. Lies between Tonga and Vanuatu.
Pass.
Pass. Was home to the flightless dodo.
New Zealand.
No. Is closest to Antarctica.
Chile.
Yes. Is led by President Javier Milei.
Malaysia.
No.
That's easy.
Touches the Timor and Tasman seas.
No answer.
Pass. Includes most of the Kalahari Desert.
Pass.
Pass. Lies between Tonga and Vanuatu.
Micronesia.
No. All right, team, great job. Give them a round of applause. You just added 250 points to your score, team. Let's take a look at the ones you missed. The Timor and Tasman seas, you were in the right neighborhood the first time. Australia. Yes. Includes most of the Kalahari Desert. Botswana. Lies between Tonga and Vanuatu. You were in the right neighborhood again. This one is Fiji. Home to the flightless dodo. Now this is tough. Mauritius. President Javier Milei is Argentina. So, with that 250 points, Morehouse, you have moved into the lead with 450. Give them another round of applause for that. But we're not done yet, Hampton. We've got one more ultimate challenge round left to play. You've got 3 categories to choose from. Which would you like?
Books, baddies, please.
All right, Hampton. You will need 3 correct answers to move on to the 2025 Honda Campus All-Star Challenge National Championship Tournament Finals. But maybe get that institutional grant, right? Let's go for the sweep. Given the author and a clue, who are these villainous characters in literature? Good luck. Dr. Seuss's Title Turtle.
Yertle.
Yes. Milton's Better to Reign in Hell guy.
Lucifer.
Yes. Dodie Smith's Puppy Huntress.
Cruella de Vil.
Correct. Ellis's American Psycho.
Bates.
No. Sniggett's Cruel Count.
Orloff.
Yes. Butler's Kindred Slave Owner.
Pass.
Pass. The Dragon from The Hobbit.
Smaug.
Yes. Dickens' Vengeful Knitting Madam.
Pass.
Pass. Lewis Carroll's Off with Their Heads Royal.
King of Hearts.
Yes. Stoker's Sanguinary Sucker.
Dracula.
Correct. Ellis's American Psycho.
Bateman.
Correct. Butler's Kindred Slave Owner.
Pass.
Pass. Dickens' Vengeful Knitting Madam.
Ellis.
No. Butler's Kindred Slave Owner.
Stephen.
No. Dickens' Vengeful Knitting Madam.
Pass.
Pass. Butler's Kindred Slave Owner.
Johnson.
No. Dickens'
Pass.
Vengeful Knitting Madam. Pass. Butler's Kindred Slave Owner.
Smith.
No. That's all right, team. Great job. You added 400 points to your score. The 2 you missed, here they are. Let's take a look at the 2 you missed. That Kindred Slave Owner, that is Rufus Whalen or Tom Whalen. And the second, the Knitting Madam, that's Madame Defarge. Yes. So, with that 400 points, our final score, Morehouse 450, Hampton with 730. You are advancing to the finals. Thank you so much. Morehouse, thank you for joining us this season. It was great having you. Hampton, you get ready to play some more Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. All right.
HBCU student leaders, good afternoon. I'm Congresswoman Alma Adams. I represent North Carolina's 12th Congressional District, which includes the city of Charlotte and the incredible Johnson C. Smith University, JCSU. I want to congratulate all of you on your hard work reaching the Honda's Campus All-Star Challenge National Championship Tournament. As a graduate of North Carolina A&T, a professor of 40 years at Bennett College, I know firsthand that HBCUs are the pillar of African American success, achievement, and excellence. You should feel proud representing your colleges and universities in today's competition and showcasing the academic impact that they have instilled in you. I wish you luck in the tournament. Thank you for always being HBCU strong.
Hello, I'm Congressman Jim Clyburn, and I'm honored to represent South Carolina's 6th Congressional District. I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the 32 HBCUs competing in Honda's Campus All-Star Challenge National Championship Tournament, the nation's premier academic competition for historically black colleges and universities. HBCUs play a vital role in shaping future leaders, fostering excellence, and ensuring higher education remains accessible to all. They've nurtured some of the country's brightest minds, and I'm especially proud to represent a district that is home to 7 of South Carolina's 8 HBCUs, including Benedict College in Columbia. As you take on this challenge, I encourage you to give it your all. Support one another and take pride in what you already accomplished. No matter the results, your presence here is a testament to the ability of HBCUs to lift, inspire, and excel. Once again, congratulations and good luck.
Hi, it's Congresswoman Terry Sewell. I want to congratulate the students of Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and Tuskegee universities as you compete in this year's Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. We in Alabama are so proud of you, and we're excited to cheer you on as you showcase your HBCU pride. As the proud daughter of 2 ASU graduates, I would not be where I am today without amazing HBCUs. And as the vice chair of the Congressional HBCU Caucus, I am fighting hard every day to ensure that our HBCUs get the resources they need to thrive. Best of luck to all three teams. Let's bring home the gold.
You won't remember my name. This is the last time you will see me at the top. I want to carry on, but not today. This is the point I give up, but not today. I want to carry on. You will see me at the top. This is the last time you won't remember my name.
It's time to match wits with the champions in the HBCU Battle of Brains Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. And the teams for this game from Tennessee State, Caitlin Diane Skates, Morgan Denise Gill, and Tyler Benjamin Vasquez. And for Tuskegee, Ryan Andrew DeBro, Adrian Keith McKinney II, and Caleb Ayton Harrell. And now, here's our moderator with the questions, Ariana Benson.
All right, welcome everyone to the second of two semifinal matches in this 2025 Honda Campus All-Star Challenge National Championship Tournament. To my left, we have the Tigers of Tennessee State University, and to my right, we have the Tigers of Tuskegee. Let's see who comes out as King of the Jungle after this match. Tennessee State, you've won the coin toss and you will be going first, but let's take a moment to meet the players in the face-off positions for both teams. For you, we have Morgan. Hi, Morgan.
Hi.
So I've heard that you're a volunteer judge for the National Speech and Debate Association.
Yes.
Now, what does that entail? Does that mean when me and my brother get to arguing about sports, you'll be a good referee and say who's really winning the argument, or?
I'd like to think so, yes. But I judge for the National Speech and Debate Association as a former participant and also former novice champion in extemporaneous and informative speaking. But that just means on the weekends I spend a lot of time reviewing a lot of speeches on a lot of different topics. And it's something I truly enjoy to give back to an organization that I was once a part of.
That's awesome, but I'm hearing also that I really shouldn't get into a debate with you. Got too much experience on me. Yeah, I wouldn't want it. Wouldn't want that smoke. Thank you, Morgan. And for Tuskegee, we have Adrian. Hi, Adrian.
Hi.
So you helped package food for the Out of the Garden project in Greensboro. Tell us a little bit about the work you do there.
So when I lived in Greensboro for a couple years, I worked at a little place called Out of the Garden Food Bank. We processed packaged meals for like disadvantaged or poor families. I thought it was a really fulfilling volunteer experience, and it was really fundamental to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, one of the main tenets, I'd say, of any HBCU is service, right? We're always looking to give back to our communities and pay it forward for the opportunities that we've been given. So that's wonderful. Thank you both for being such great servants of your community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's get this first round started. Morgan, like I said, you all won the toss, so you will choose first from these categories. Good luck to both teams. Why is it called When I'm Not Campaigning, Demonyms, and 15th Century Europeans?
Why is it called, please?
The University of Florida has gotten millions in royalties for what sports drink named for its mascot, as scientists there created it. Morgan.
Gatorade.
Is it in you? Here's your bonus.
Great job.
Because the ancient Roman calendar begins with March, what month has a name referencing the number 10?
Yeah.
December.
For 10 points. A tube inside early TV cameras, the image Orthicon inspired the name of what premier TV awards?
The Emmys.
For all 20 points. Category, Morgan.
Why is it called, please?
It's not named for an emperor, but for a certain Mr. Cardini, the first chef to serve what salad of romaine, croutons, and anchovies? Morgan.
Caesar.
Caesar salad, yes, here's your bonus. Certain merchants could be flogged for shorting their customers, so they toss an extra 13th roll into the bag, resulting in what two-word phrase?
Baker's dozen.
For 10 more. A first place award may be the reason a breaded chicken cutlet filled with ham and cheese has what name? French for blue ribbon.
Cordon bleu.
For all 20. Category, Morgan.
Why is it called?
Which engineer tried to out-Eiffel Eiffel when he built his namesake 264-foot tall ride, the centerpiece of the 1893 Chicago World's Fair? Morgan.
Ferris.
As in the Ferris wheel. Yes, here's your bonus. Coined in the 1950s for the interstate around the U.S. Capitol, by 1978, what term had come to refer to the general mindset of D.C. politicos?
Try it.
Rotunda.
No, that's the Beltway mindset. Let's try this one. Carnival slang may have led to what Pig Latin-sounding K word that, since the 1980s, has been used for pro wrestling's outrageous storylines? Answer team?
Kicking.
No, that's kayfabe. So no points on that bonus, but we have new categories. Go ahead.
Denonyms, please.
Capitolino refers to the more than 9 million people living in what most populous city of North America? Morgan.
Mexico City.
Yes, here's your bonus. Also a name of their dialect, Cockney is a slangy demonym for people from what city's East End?
London.
London, yes. Brummies are from what UK metropolis, about halfway between London and Liverpool?
Manchester.
No, that was Birmingham. Category, Morgan.
Demonyms, please.
The demonym Yoopers comes from UP, the abbreviation for the Upper Peninsula of what U.S. state? Morgan.
Michigan.
Yes, here's your bonus. It really does have its origins in coastal Croatia, so it is proper to use what D demonym for the breed of white dog with black spots?
Dalmatian.
Cruella's dogs, yes. The name of what small fluffy P dog is a demonym describing a historical region shared by modern Germany and Poland?
Pomeranian.
For all 20 points, you know your pups. Category.
I'll take demonyms again.
Hessian, Cossack, Bavarian. Which regional demonym refers to German soldiers fighting for England in the American Revolution? Morgan.
Bavarian.
No, can you take it, Adrian?
Hessian.
You're in there. Here's your bonus. Residents of Haarlem and Maastricht use what demonym that's also the name of their country's language?
Flemish.
No, that was Dutch. Let's try this one. Port city person in Spanish, porteño, is most often used to refer to people from what largest port city on the Rio de la Plata?
Brasilia.
No, that's Buenos Aires. No points on the bonus, but you're in control.
Can I get 15th century Europeans?
Though born in Italy and married in Portugal, Christopher Columbus made his 1492 expedition under what country's flag? Morgan.
Spain.
You've got it back. Here's your bonus. Sailing under the English flag in 1497, which Italian became the first known European to sail to Canada since the Vikings?
Cabot.
Yes, John Cabot. The age of exploration kicked off in the 15th century with the help of which Portuguese prince called the Navigator?
Da Gama.
No, that was Prince Henry the Navigator. Quickly, one more category.
When I'm not campaigning.
Which Morehouse alum's A Way Out of No Way was published shortly after he beat Herschel Walker and was reelected as a Georgia senator? Morgan.
Warnock.
Yes, Raphael Warnock. Here's your last bonus. Who's United acknowledges the people who inspired him in his bid to become, in 2013, the first black U.S. senator from New Jersey?
Booker.
Did you see his filibuster? It's pretty good. 2022's America, A Redemption Story is the most recent book by which first black U.S. senator elected from the South since Reconstruction?
Johnson.
No, that's Tim Scott from South Carolina. But that brings us to a total of 10 points for Tuskegee, 160 points for Tennessee State at the end of this first round of competition. And now we're going to begin this round 2 of play. We have 2 new players in the face-off positions. Let's get to know a little something about them. Hi, Tyler.
Hi.
So you were appointed student representative on the Tennessee State Board of Trustees. That's a pretty high position. Tell me what you do there.
Absolutely. So as student trustee at Tennessee State University, I serve as a non-voting member of the Board of Trustees. However, I serve as kind of like an advisor, providing any kind of clarification or any kind of insight to the student voice at TSU, serving on the Student and Academic Affairs Committee specifically for administration.
That's awesome. You seem like a really good representative. I'm sure the students like it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tyler. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
I've heard your hobby is cooking.
Yes.
What? Oh, no. Go ahead. Tell me about it.
I live in an apartment, so I've been cooking since when I was in high school. I was looking at different YouTube shows. One of them was called Binging with Babish, so I used to look at all the different things that he made and try to do it in my apartment.
Very nice. Okay, apartment cooking for me means the air fryer. Tell me what's the most fancy thing I can make with that little device on my counter?
I'm sorry, you're out of luck. I don't really like air fried foods.
Oh, he said he's a real chef, y'all. That's right. That's right, Ryan. Be true to it. Okay, Ryan, since you guys are down, you have a little bit of work to do, so you'll be choosing first from I'm Lovin' Lakes, Russian Masters, Science Jokes, and Women in Business.
Science jokes, please.
Finish these corny science-related jokes, starting with the attacking army used what kind of solution to neutralize the enemy's base? Tyler.
Acid.
Acid neutralizes base. When the hotel clerk asked the photon if it needed help with its luggage, the photon replied, no, I'm traveling what?
Light.
Light for 10 points. We know that the round table was built by which knight because he's equal to 2 pi r.
Go for it.
No, that's
No,
not it.
uh,
Answer team? Yes. Knight is circumference.
Can we do I'm Loving Lakes, please?
Bordering Russia and Iran, what salty lake has almost 5 times the surface area of the world's second largest lake? Tyler?
The Caspian Sea.
Yes, here's your bonus. After the Caspian, the world's largest lake by surface area is what freshwater lake shared by Canada and the US?
Superior. Superior.
For 10 points. After the Caspian, the world's largest lake by volume is what freshwater lake in Russia, due north of Mongolia?
Baikal.
Yes, for all 20.
Can we
Category
do lakes,
Tyler.
please?
Technically a lagoon, the largest lake by area in Latin America is what brackish body of water that connects to the Gulf of Venezuela? Ryan?
Great Lake.
No, can you take it, Tyler?
Venezuelan Lake.
No, that's Lake Maracaibo.
Yeah.
No points there.
Can we do
Let's
I'm
try
Loving
again.
Lakes, please?
To finish it. Home to more species of fish than any other lake, the second most voluminous lake in Africa is named for what M country? Ryan? No answer. Can you take it, Tyler?
Mali.
No, that's Malawi. Malawi. New category.
Can we do Russian Masters, please?
Anna Pavlova a century ago and Natalia Osipova today are prima performers in what artistic profession? Tyler?
Opera.
No, can you take it, Ryan?
Ballerina.
Ballerina is correct. Here's your bonus. What avian-themed Tchaikovsky ballet has Siegfried pledging his love to Odette?
Black Swan.
Swan Lake. No points there, but close. In what Prokofiev children's work does an oboe represent the duck and strings and French horns represent the 2 title characters?
The Ugly Duckling.
No, that's Peter and the Wolf. No points on the bonus, but you're back in control.
Science jokes, please.
Anatomically speaking, a nose can't be 12 inches long because if it was, it would be a what? Ryan?
Foot.
A foot. A rancher had 399 cows in the pasture, but when he rounded them up, how many did he have?
400.
400 cows. The white bear was soluble in water, but not in oil because it was what kind of bear?
Solid bear.
A polar bear. That one was tough. Category.
Science jokes, please.
In a chilly rectangular room, you can go to any corner to warm up because each corner is how many degrees? Tyler?
90.
It's pretty hot in the corners, yes. 2 atoms are out for a walk. One says, oh no, I've lost an electron. The other asks, are you sure? The first atom replies, I'm what?
Positive.
Positive, yes. When one tectonic plate bumped into another, it said, sorry, my what?
Fault.
My fault.
Oh,
All
good
20
job.
points. Category.
Women in Business, please.
Canon, Sharp, Xerox. The first black Fortune 500 CEO, Ursula Burns, led which pioneering photocopy company? Tyler?
Xerox.
Yes, here's your bonus. Co-founded by the eldest Kardashian sibling, what shapewear company was valued at over $4 billion in 2023?
Skims.
Yes, for 10. Before Skims, Kim ran what speedy-sounding boutique chain with her sisters, Courtney and Chloe?
Dash.
Answer
Go
to you?
for it.
Dash for that last 10 points.
Women in Business,
Category.
please.
The online dating market was abuzz when Whitney Wolfe Herd left Tinder and founded what app where women message first? Tyler?
Hinge.
No, can you take it, Ryan?
Buzz.
A buzz as in bumblebee. Bumble is the app. So no points on that last bonus to bring us to a score of 40 for Tuskegee to 80 for Tennessee State at the end of round 2. All right, we have 2 new players in the face-off position. Let's meet them. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
So I've heard you're also a really good cook. Do you use the air fryer? Like, what can I do, girl? Help me out.
I do use the air fryer mainly because I have to help my mom cook. You're asking for something in the air fryer, salmon in the air fryer to die for.
That's a classic.
400 for 9 minutes. I got you.
Okay. Thank you. Good looks. Thank you, Caitlin. Hi, Caleb.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You are a two-sport athlete, HCAS, and a defensive tackle for Tuskegee's football team.
Yes, ma'am.
Who would you say you try to model your game after most?
I'm a big fan of Dexter Lawrence. Big
That's
Dexter
a good
Lawrence guy,
answer.
yeah.
Okay, and what's your go-to move? You're trying to get in there, get that sack?
I'm a big time arm over guy. Inside
that-
fake inside, arm over to the outside.
That swim move is nice, right? Yeah. All right. Thank you, Caleb. You guys are down, so you'll be choosing first from Black cabinet members, if you liked it the first time, Arthuriana, and three-word phrases.
If you liked it the first time.
It's wax on, wax off for Ralph Macchio in 1984, jacket on, jacket off for Jaden Smith in 2010's remake of what martial arts film? Caitlin?
The Karate Kid.
Yes, here's your bonus. This summer sees a live-action remake of what 2010 animated film in which a young Viking, Hiccup, befriends a flying fire breather?
How to Train Your Dragon.
For 10 more. Liam Neeson exhibits a very particular set of inept skills as the son of Lieutenant Frank Drebin in 2025's reboot of what crime spoof series?
Bad Boys?
No, that's The Naked Gun or Police Squad, but you're in control, Caitlin.
Black cabinet members, please.
William Coleman, Anthony Fox, and Rodney Slater were each secretary of what department that oversees the Federal Highway Administration? Caleb?
The Department of Interior.
No, can you take it, Caitlin?
Transportation?
Yes, the Department of Transportation. For 5 points apiece and a 5-point bonus for all three, under President Biden, which retired 4-star Army general served as the first Black Secretary of Defense?
Colin Powell.
No, that was Lloyd Austin. 2 answers. In a historic first, in 2015, which first Black Attorney General was succeeded by which first Black female Attorney General?
Harrison Johnson.
No, that was Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch. So no points there, but you get to choose.
If you liked it the first time.
The 78 original of what film that introduced the relentlessly vengeful Michael Myers? Caleb.
Halloween.
Yes, here's your bonus. Eddie Murphy has 2 remakes on his resume. The first introduced us to an obese Sherman Klump in a retelling of what 1963 comedy?
The Nutty Professor.
Yes, for 10. In 1998, Murphy remade what 1967 musical whose title character can talk to the animals?
Dr. Dolittle.
My favorite Eddie Murphy movie. Category, Caleb.
If you liked it the first time.
In 1998, Vince Vaughn put his spin on Anthony Perkins' classic role, that of hotel owner Norman Bates, in what film? Caleb.
Psycho.
Yes, here's your bonus. George Clooney, Bernie Mac, and friends starred in what numerically titled remake of a 1960 Rat Pack heist film?
Ocean's 11.
Yes, for 10. Bruce Campbell's groovy Ash, introduced in 1981, gets a post-credits cameo in 2013 in what horror at a secluded cabin film?
Cabin in the Woods.
No, that was The Evil Dead, but you're catching, Caleb. Category.
3-word phrases.
With the 3-word phrase, football is life, Danny Rojas proclaims his enthusiasm for soccer on what Apple TV Plus series? Caleb.
Ted Lasso?
Yes, Ted Lasso. Good job. France's concept of an ideal society is summed up in its national motto. Tell me in French or in English, what is this 3-word phrase?
Liberty, fraternity, equality.
Yes, for all 10
Zero,
points.
no.
Oh, okay.
The phrase is in the wrong order.
It matters the order. That's right. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. Sorry, Adrian. What first 3 points of the preamble to the U.S. Constitution appear on the obverse side of the $10 bill?
We the people.
Yes, for that 10. Category.
3-word phrases.
According to the Gospel of John, who uttered the phrase translated as, "It is finished," just before their death? Caleb.
Jesus Christ.
The one and only. Here's your bonus. So It Goes is the Tralfamadorian view on death in what time-traveling Kurt Vonnegut novel, partly set in World War II Dresden?
Catch-22.
No, that's Slaughterhouse-Five. Let's try this one. Thomas Hobbes' Scientia Potentia Est from his 1668 Leviathan still rings true today and translates as knowledge is what?
Power.
Power, 10 points. Category.
3-word phrases.
Attributed to Julius Caesar, what 3-word Latin phrase translates to I came, I saw, I conquered? Caleb. No answer. Can you take it, Caitlin?
No answer.
No, that was Veni Vidi Vici. One more, Caleb.
Black cabinet members.
The first black woman to serve as both Secretary of State and as National Security Advisor, which poli-sci expert nicknamed Condi? Caleb.
Condoleezza Rice.
Yes, here's your final bonus. In 1993, Hazel O'Leary became the first African-American woman to head what department whose email address ends in doe.gov?
Department of Education.
No, that was Department of Energy. Let's try this one. Alexis Herman was the 5th woman, but the first black woman, to head what department that oversees OSHA?
Department of Labor?
Yes, for that final 10. You've made up good ground, Tuskegee. 150 points to Tennessee State, 310, as we head to the ultimate challenge.
Do the best we can.
And now we're back for the ultimate challenge, the final round of a Honda Campus All-Star Challenge match. Remember, teams, you have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions lightning round style. And if you get all 10 correct, you get an additional $500 grant for your institution from Honda. Tuskegee, you're down by 160 points, which means you need 4 answers to take the lead, but you're probably going to want to do a little more damage than that, so choose wisely. Here are your choices. Majority Muslim, 1 of 2, periodic table, anagrammed, and no fear of AI in quotations.
Let's go 1 of 2, please.
1 of 2. From the given clue, give either of the only 2 possible answers. A number you square to get 81.
9.
Yes. Official language of Cyprus.
Greek.
Yes. A U.S. state without counties.
Louisiana.
Yes. A capital on Hispaniola.
Pass.
Pass. Liberian Nobel Peace Laureate.
Pass.
Pass. State capital on the Mississippi. No. Lower arm bone.
Femur.
Yes. Son of Prince William.
Harry.
No. A moon orbiting Mars.
Phobos.
Yes. A 10-point Scrabble letter.
Odyssey.
No. A capital on Hispaniola. No. Liberian Nobel Peace Laureate.
Pass.
Pass. State capital on the Mississippi.
Baton Rouge.
Yes. Son of Prince William.
Harry.
No. A 10-point Scrabble letter.
Pass.
Pass. A capital on Hispaniola.
Pass.
Pass. Liberian Nobel. Pass.
Oh.
All right, 6 out of 10. You took the lead, very nice. Let's go over the ones you didn't get. Audience, a capital on Hispaniola. Port-au-Prince or Santo Domingo. Liberian Nobel Peace Laureate. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, I'm hearing, or Lema Bowie. Son of Prince William, you said his brother and his father, but his sons are George and Louis. A 10-point Scrabble letter. When you play one letter, it's worth the points, so Q or Z, those are the most rare, and so they're worth the most points. But you did very well to add 300 points to your score and take the lead. And now, Tennessee State, we turn to you. You're down by 140, which means you need 3 answers to take the win and move on to the championship round of this year's national championship tournament. What will you have?
Can we do periodic table anagrams, please?
All right. From an anagram and a clue, identify each chemical element.
Lithium.
Islet, yes. Some enigma.
Magnesium.
Yes. My nation in semiconductors.
Pass.
Pass. Unity's mine. It's man-made.
Pass.
Pass. In plum
Plutonium.
out.
Plutonium.
Yes. Ruby me ill. Found in emerald.
Rubellium.
No. Snug tent. Heavy
Pungent.
stone. Yes. But my tire. A lanthanide.
Pass.
Pass. Shop or push.
Phosphorus.
Yes. Info rule. Lightest halogen.
Fluorine.
Yes. My nation in semiconductors. Pass.
Pass.
Unity's mine. Pass. Ruby me ill. Found in emeralds.
Maribelium.
No. But my tire. A lanthanide.
Pass.
Pass.
Ytterbium.
My nation in
Pass.
semiconductor. Pass. Unity's pass.
Beryllium.
Yes. But my tire.
Ytterbium.
Yes. My nation in semiconductors. My nation in semiconductors.
Pass. Oh, it doesn't matter.
All right, very nice. 8 out of 10. There's only 2 you didn't get. Let's hear them. My nation in semiconductors. Antimony.
Okay.
Unity's mine, it's man-made. The man is Einstein, it's Einsteinium. Yes. But with a final score of 450 for Tuskegee, 710 for Tennessee State, you are moving on to the final round. Congratulations, both teams. Well done.
For over a century, the National Urban League has been on the front line, fighting to defend democracy, demand diversity, and defeat poverty. With 92 affiliates nationwide, we serve over 300 communities and impact over 3 million lives annually. The Urban League fights for you. We fight for education, health equity, fair housing, jobs, and equitable justice. Because your future shouldn't depend on your zip code. We are the National Urban League, empowering communities and changing lives. Learn more at NUL.org.
You're not going to find a program like this for HBCU students. Welcome to the Leadership Institute.
This week, we are excited to unlock your full potential on this leadership journey that will help guide your personal and professional development throughout the Leadership Institute.
Every session, every interview, every networking opportunity, use everything that you are learning to build your future.
This is about execution. This is about implementing your growth plan beyond the blueprint.
And there's over 550 of incredible, brilliant future leaders that are with us. And there's over 80 corporations and partners that are here to find the greatest talent. Lean into this experience, and this is a network for life.
The Honda HR-V. With impressive sporty styling inside and out. From the brand named 2024 Best Value Brand by Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Honda, the power of dreams.
It's time to match wits with the champions in the HBCU Battle of Brains Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. Here are today's teams for this championship round. The varsity scholars of Hampton, Jerron M. Haynes, Dante T. Wyatt Jr., and Miles A. Cross. And for the scholars from Tennessee State, Tyler Benjamin Vasquez, Caitlin Diane Skates, and Morgan Denise Gill. Now, here's the man with the questions, Brandon Alexander.
Hello, teams. Hello. Welcome. You are here. This is the moment. This is game one of the best 2 out of 3 finals of the 2025 Honda Campus All-Star Challenge National Championship Tournament. You should be proud of your accomplishments. Audience, give them another round of applause for making it to this stage. Now, teams, I know we've gotten to know you over this weekend, over the games that you've played, but we've got one final question that we want to ask before we get started. We're going to start with Hampton's Dante. Dante.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who do you want to shout out back home?
Well, I believe I'd like to begin with my mother, my father, my sister, my grandmother, because they've always been very strong, very supportive of me in my life and my academic ventures.
Okay, very good. Now, you said begin. Were there more?
Oh, yeah, and God.
There you go. Big ups to G-O-D. I like that. For Tennessee State, we have Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
Caitlin, who do you want to shout out?
I would love to shout out my mom and my dad. They're the reason why I'm here today, so yes.
I mean, like genetically, yes, that is exactly right. Anyone on campus that you'd like to, shout out for helping you get here?
Probably the Dr. Levi Watkins Institute.
Okay, very good. No, tell us about that.
Okay, so Tyler and I are part of a 3-year accelerated BSMD program at Tennessee State University with the pipeline program to Meharry Medical College, Belmont School of Medicine, Sidney Kimmel in Pennsylvania. And basically, it's an accelerated BSMD program.
Wow, that is amazing. Good luck with that program, right? Okay, we're going to accelerate right into game one, and you'll be selecting first from one of these 4 categories. The King's Library, NYSEs of the NYSE, your Italian itinerary, national names. Category, Caitlin.
NYSEs of the NYSE.
A fabled creature said to inhabit harsh environments inspired what wide name for an NYSE company that makes high-end coolers and mugs? Caitlin.
Yeti.
Yes, and you're on the board. Nucor, Novartis, Newstar. In 1996, the then largest corporate merger in history created which NYSE big pharma company?
Novartis.
10 points. Standard Oil was forcibly dissolved in 1911, but what descendant of that breakup is the NYSE's largest oil and gas company?
British Petroleum.
No, that was ExxonMobil. So 10 out of the 20.
Okay.
You're on the board. Category, Caitlin.
NYSE, please.
Japan's first transistor radio was in 1955, the landmark product for what S company, whose pictures division produces the Venom film franchise? Caitlin.
Sony.
Yes, here's your bonus. Second in size only to L'Oreal. What Manhattan-based cosmetics company trades under the stock symbol EL?
Estee Lauder.
10 more points. Your dining hall might be a customer of what S Corporation, the world's largest food distributor to restaurants, hotels, and schools? Team.
Starbucks.
It's Cisco. Okay, no points there, but you still have control. Caitlin, category.
NYSE, please.
Let's finish it. 2 former PayPal employees created what crowdsourced business reviews website, trading under its 4-letter Y name? Dante.
Yep.
Yes, and now you're on the board, Hampton. Here's your bonus. Just Shoes in 1901, clothing in 63, and discounts via its rack in 73. That's the history of what Seattle-based department store?
Nordstrom?
Yes, for 10. Just Seeds in 1868, grass in the early 1900s, and today, herbicides and gardening equipment. This is what S maker of Miracle Grow?
Scott's.
Team?
Scott's.
Feed your lawn. Feed it. Yes. Category, new one.
Your Italian itinerary.
What birthplace of pizza and 3rd largest Italian city has a name derived from the Greek words for new and city? Caitlin.
Margarita.
No, can you take it, Dante?
Naples.
Yes, here's the bonus. For 20, then 10, so let's listen to the first clue. Shakespeare fans flocked to what city to see Juliet's balcony, even though it wasn't built until the 1930s?
Verona.
You got all 20. Great job. Dante, pick
Your
again.
Italian itinerary.
Discovered in the 18th century, Neptune's Grotto is a stalactite-filled cavern along the coast of what 2nd largest Italian island? Dante.
Sardinia.
Yes, here's the bonus. At 2,425 feet, Monte Titano is the highest point in what nation on the Italian peninsula with around 34,000 residents?
San Marino.
Yes, for 10. San Marino is located in what A mountain range that forms the spine of the Italian peninsula?
Apennines.
You got it. Up to 90 points. Pick again,
Italian
Dante.
itinerary.
A U.S. lunch meat is named after what food capital of Italy, known for its meaty pasta sauce and for Europe's oldest university? Dante.
Bologna.
Yes, here's the bonus, team. Anzio, Marsala, Ravenna. Famed for mosaics, which Adriatic city replaced Rome as the Western Empire's capital in AD 402?
Ravenna.
Yes, 10 points. Ravenna still buried there, despite Florence's pleas to reclaim and rebury its top poet.
Dante Alighieri.
I know, you knew that one, Dante. Right. New category.
National names, please.
You'll spell it Changhua if you use pinyin to write the name of what country in its own official tongue? Caitlin.
Côte d'Ivoire.
No, can you take it, Dante?
China.
Yes, bonus. Natives use the Khmer script to write Kampuchea, the name of what Southeast Asian nation?
Cambodia.
10 more points. Use the Tibetan script to write Drukyul, the name of what B country in its official language of Dzongkha?
Bhutan.
You got it. 10 more points. 150 category.
National names, please.
What country's name, Österreich, comes from the Old High German for Eastern Realm? Dante.
Austria.
Yes, got it again. For 20, then 10 points. Schweizerliche Eidgenossenschaft is what nation's German language name?
Switzerland.
All 20 points. So, at the end of round 1, Tennessee State, you're on the board with 40. Hampton out in the lead with 180. Good job, teams. Here in round two, we've put 2 new players in the face-off position. Buzzing in for Hampton, we've got Miles. Hi, Miles.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I want to know who you want to shout out back home.
First, my mom, dad, and brother, just because, like you said, they've always been there all the time, as well as all my high school teachers, as well as Miss Nelms, our coach over there, sitting in the front row. She's been really great.
Oh,
And
yeah.
All my friends back at Hampton.
That's it. Now, let me ask you, is this an older brother, younger brother?
Older.
Okay. Does he try to boss you around?
Nah.
Nah, he
He's
knows.
shorter than me.
He knows better, right? That's right. That's right, Miles. And nothing's going to happen when you get back home after saying that.
Of course not.
That's right. Buzzing in for Tennessee State, we've got Tyler. Hi, Tyler.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Who do you want to shout out back home?
First, just want to give all glory to God, but second, want to say my mom, my dad, my 2 brothers, and then want to give a special shout out to TSU, my coach, John Miglietta, and then all my previous coaches for academic challenge teams in middle and high school. So
that is awesome. I'm so glad that they all poured into you because that's why you're here. All right. You'll be selecting first, Tyler, from one of these 4 categories. What the font, the speed of light, all about April, outside the EU.
Can we do outside the EU, please?
Even when it was part of the EU, what now non-EU nation used pounds, not euros? Tyler.
United Kingdom.
Yes, here's the bonus. A NATO member despite having no standing army, what glacier-filled non-EU nation has its capital at Reykjavik?
Iceland.
10 points. 2029 will be the centenary of the prestigious Grand Prix Formula One race run along the streets of what Mediterranean microstate?
Monaco.
You got 10 more, up to 70
Can we
category.
do outside the EU, please?
The Skagerrak Strait borders Denmark, Sweden, and what non-EU country? Tyler.
Norway.
Got it again. Here's the bonus. Tirana is the capital of what a nation that applied to join the EU in 2009 and is still negotiating membership?
Albania.
You got 10 points. What B country is nearly landlocked as Croatia blocks all but 12 miles of its access to the Adriatic?
Bosnia.
Yes, all 20 up to 100
Can we
categories.
do outside the EU, please?
Yes. Despite wars for independence in the 1990s and 2000s, Chechnya is still part of what largest non-EU state in Europe? Miles.
Russia.
Yes, and now you're on the board here in this round. Transnistria is an unrecognized breakaway state located within what non-EU nation?
Moldova.
10 points. Belgrade still doesn't accept it, but more than 100 UN members recognize what nation's 2008 independence from Serbia?
Kosovo.
Correct again. Category.
All about April.
All major league players and coaches wear the same number on April 15th to honor the integration of baseball by which player? Tyler.
Robinson.
Yes, Jackie Robinson. Here's the bonus team. April 15th is also tax day, the deadline for filing personal taxes per laws made constitutional by which amendment in 1913?
No, 16th? 16th?
Yes, that's it for 10. What state annually reenacts the Battle of San Jacinto, celebrating the April 21st, 1836 victory that won its independence?
Texas?
That's right, it's Texas.
Can we
Category.
do speed of light, please?
Who showed that the speed of light is the same in all inertial reference frames in 1905's on the electrodynamics of moving bodies? Tyler.
Einstein?
Albert Einstein, you got it. That 1905 paper is often called which of Einstein's 2 theories of relativity?
General theory? Or is it photoelectric effect?
Team?
Photoelectric effect?
No, it's the special theory of relativity. Here's part 2. Published 10 years later, Einstein's general relativity was mostly ignored until a 1919 solar eclipse proved that what force can bend light?
Magnetism?
Team.
Magnetism?
No, that one was gravity. So
Ah,
no points
okay,
there on the
yeah.
bonus, but Tyler,
Speed of light,
category.
please.
The speed of light in a vacuum is about 186,000 miles per second. That slows to 77,500 miles per second in what allotrope of carbon? Tyler.
Diamond?
Diamonds, yes, here's your bonus. In 1998, light was slowed to 17 meters per second, passing through what state of matter a blank Einstein condensate?
Bose?
Yes, for 10. Light was later actually frozen in place in a condensate of what are alkali metal?
Rubidium?
Yes, up to 170
Speed of
category.
light, please.
In 1676, Ole Romer was the first to calculate the speed of light fairly accurately by observing the transits of what 2-letter moon of Jupiter? Miles.
Io.
Yes, here's the bonus. In his 1706 Optics, which Cambridge prof used Romer's finding to calculate that sunlight took 7 or 8 minutes to reach Earth?
Johnson.
No, we were looking for Isaac Newton there, part 2. In 1887, Michelson and Morley used the speed of light to disprove the existence of what light-carrying substance in space?
Ether?
The ether, 10 points. Time to pick a new category.
April.
Each April 12th, Russia observes Cosmonautics Day on the anniversary of which man becoming the first person in space in 1961? Miles.
Yuri?
I can't take it. No. Can you give it to me, Tyler?
Michael Yuri?
Yuri Gagarin. I needed his last name. There you go. So, Tennessee State putting a lot of points on the board. They're up to 170. Hampton still in the lead with 230 at the end of round 2. We're back for round 3. We've put 2 new players in the face-off position. Buzzing in for Hampton, we've got Jerron. Hi, Jerron.
Hi.
There you go. Jerron, we got a good little thing going here, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. Jerron, who do you want to shout out back home?
I want to shout out my mom and dad back in Atlanta, and I want to shout out my sister as well.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your sister?
My sister, she's always been a big supporter of mine. I really say she's my best friend, and yeah, she's my big sister, and she's out here in Oakland, so
okay,
on this coast.
Listen, having your big sister be your best friend, that's special.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Buzzing in for Tennessee State, we've got Morgan. Hi, Morgan.
Hey.
Now, Morgan, I want to know who you want to shout out, but then I have a question after that, okay? Go ahead. Who you want to shout out?
I want to shout out my mom and my dad. Hey, mom. Hey, dad. And then my siblings, Aaron, Cameron, and Ilicia. And then I also want to shout out my physics professor. I am missing a test this week.
Okay. Listen, physics is very important. You know I'm going to tell you that, right? So you make sure you get back and you ace that test, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Now here's my other question.
Okay.
They got this nice sweater.
Gosh.
I like yours. Now, why is it different?
My sweater's different because this is my 3rd HCAS. This is my freshman year sweater. That's
okay, the throwback. I like it. Now, you're going to be selecting first here in round 3 from one of these 4 categories. I'm on a stamp. Presidential before and afters. Spelling numbers. Major museums. Category.
I'll do spelling numbers.
The only number spelled entirely with letters on the top row of a standard QWERTY keyboard is what only even prime number? Morgan.
2.
Yes, here's the bonus team. 3 is the first number to use E twice. What 2-digit integer uniquely uses E 3 times and no other vowel?
17.
Go for it.
17.
No, that's 11. Oh. What 2-digit number uniquely uses E 4 times and no other vowel?
17. 17.
That one's 17, 10 points. Category.
Spelling numbers.
The longest English word that's also a valid number in Roman numerals is what word that would have meant 1009 to Julius Caesar? Morgan.
Live.
No. Can you take it, Jerron?
No.
No answer there. M-I-X, mix. There you go. You've still got control, Morgan. Category.
I'm on a stamp.
I got a stamp in 1940, but I have preferred you had called, not written, since I patented the telephone. Who am I? Jerron.
Bell.
Alexander Graham Bell, here's your bonus. That's my face on a 2014 literary arts stamp, but you might have guessed it was me if it just showed an invisible man. Who am I?
Ralph Ellison.
10 points. That's my face on a 1940 stamp, but you might have guessed it was me if it just showed a headless horseman. Which writer am I?
Washington Irving.
Correct again, up to 260. Category.
Presidential before and afters.
Combine the full name of James Garfield's successor with the name of the only black man to win a Wimbledon singles title to get what before and after? Jerron.
Chester Arthur Ashe.
Got it. Here's the bonus. Combine the full name of the first president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms with Donovan Mitchell's NBA team to get what B&A?
Grover Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes, 10 points. What B&A combines the full name of Mr. Short's only Murders in the Building male co-star with the name of the 8th president? Team.
Dean Martin Van Buren.
No, it's Steve Martin Van Buren. Okay, very close though. You've still got control, Jerron. Category.
Presidential before and afters.
What before and after combines the 12th president with the artist behind the Tortured Poets department? Jerron.
Zachary Taylor Swift.
Yes, here's the bonus. Combine the New Jersey governor who became president with Daredevil's kingpin nemesis to get what B&A?
Woodrow Wilson Fisk.
Right again. The president who signed the Kansas-Nebraska Act combines with the actor who played James Bond in GoldenEye for what B&A? Team?
Franklin Pierce Brosnan.
Yes. Great job, team. Time to pick again, Jerron.
Presidential before and afters.
Combine the president with the shortest tenure with the actor playing Red Hulk to get what B&A? Jerron.
William Henry Harrison Ford.
Yes. Here's the bonus, part 1. What before and after combines the president who established Yellowstone National Park with a 90s Duke and then NBA Hall of Famer? Team? Okay, that one was Ulysses S. Grant Hill. Aha. Part 2. Combine the 16th president with the muckraking author of The Shame of the Cities into what B&A? Team?
Abraham Lincoln Washington.
Abraham Lincoln was right. Lincoln Steffens. Abraham Lincoln Steffens is the whole thing. Time to pick a new category, Jerron.
I'm on a stamp.
Shown in judicial robes on my Black Heritage stamp, as an attorney, I argued 1954's Brown case before the Supreme Court. Who am I? Jerron.
Thurgood Marshall.
That's right again. Here's your bonus. That's me on 2016's Black Heritage stamp, the founder of the AME and its first bishop. Who am I?
Richard Allen.
10 points. That's me on a 1986 stamp with Robert Perry, our dog sleds, and our route to the North Pole. Who am I?
Matthew Henson.
Yes, 10 more points there at the end of the round. Great job, team. Tennessee State, you're up to 190. Hampton in the lead with 350 at the end of round 3. Now it's time to play the ultimate challenge. Remember, teams, 60 seconds, 10 rapid-fire questions, the opportunity to add 500 points to your score and change the outcome of the game. And oh yeah, if you sweep the ultimate challenge, that additional $500 grant to your institution from American Honda. Tennessee State, you're trailing here as we move into the ultimate challenge, so you'll select first from one of these 4 categories. Do you myth me? A spelling bee, we've emphasized the B there. The NBA's NBA, none but anticipating, and lands of literary laureates. Now, you'll need 4 correct answers to take the lead. Spell these 4 or 5-letter words, each of which begins with B. Good luck. 8 digital bits.
B-Y-T-E.
Yes. The green herb in pesto.
B-A-S-I-L.
Yes. Sigma Pi Phi's nickname.
B-L-U-E.
No. It holds the gem on a ring.
B-A-N-D.
No. 1 over par in golf.
Pass.
Pass. A landform with steep vertical sides.
Pass.
Pass. The 3rd U.S. Vice President.
B-U-R-R.
Yes. Thailand's official currency.
B-A-K-H.
No. A brackish, slow-moving stream.
Pass.
Pass. Sisters to Meg, Joe, and Amy March.
B-E-T-H.
Yes. Sigma Pi Phi's nickname.
Pass.
Pass. It holds the gem on a ring.
Pass.
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 Over par, pass.
Pass.
A landform with pass.
Pass.
Thailand's pass. A brackish,
Pass.
slow-moving pass. Sigma Pi Phi's nickname.
B-O-U-L-E.
That's it. It holds the gem on
Pass.
the ring. Pass.
Pass.
1 over par in golf.
Pass.
A landform with
Pass.
steep vertical sides. Pass. All right. Great job, team. You added 250 to your score. Great job. Let's take a look at the ones you missed. It holds the gem on a ring. Audience, a bezel, B-E-Z-E-L. 1 over par in golf. It is a bogey, B-O-G-E-Y. A landform with steep vertical sides.
Brick.
A butte or a bluff, B-U-T-T-E or B-L-U-F-F.
We went to Southern.
Thailand's official currency. It's the baht, and you were on it, but it's B-A-H-T. And a brackish, slow-moving stream.
B-R-O-O-K.
No, it's not brook.
What?
It's brackish. So it's a bayou, B-A-Y-O-U. Aha. But you did add 250 points to your score, so with 440, you're in the lead.
Bye. And that's probably way better than Do You Myth Me?
Go for it.
But we're not done yet. We've got one more Ultimate Challenge round left to play. Hampton, you've got 3 categories to choose from. Which would you like?
The NBA.
All right. Now, you'll need 2 correct answers to win game 1 of this best 2 out of 3 finals. But obviously, keep going, right? Let's try to get that bonus. We want to earn some cash today. Yes. Of the 10 teams that have yet to win their first NBA championship, which franchise, good luck, calls the Intuit Dome
Clippers.
Yes. Was Kevin Garnett's first?
Timberwolves.
Yes. Retired Shaq's number 30?
Magic.
Yes. Is named for its state bird?
Pass.
Pass. Has Will Hardy as its head coach? No. Began as the New Jersey American?
Nets.
Yes. Retired Charles Barkley's number?
Suns.
Yes. Was Tim Hardaway's last as a player?
Heat.
No. Calls the FedEx Forum home?
Pass.
Pass. Was co-owned by Michael Jordan?
Hornets.
Yes. Is named for its state bird?
Pelicans.
Yes. Has Will Hardy as its head coach?
Pass.
Pass. Was Tim Hardaway's last as a player?
Kings.
Say it again.
Kings.
No. Calls the FedEx Forum home?
Pass.
Pass. Has Will Hardy as its head coach?
Pass.
Pass. Was Tim Hardaway's last as a player? Was Tim Hardaway's last as a player?
Grizzlies.
No. That's all right, team. Great job. You added 350 points to your score. The 3 you missed. Will Hardy is the head coach of the Utah Jazz. Tim Hardaway last played for the Indiana Pacers. That's a tough one. And the FedEx Forum, that is home to the Memphis Grizzlies. So, with those 350 points, our final score in Game 1, Tennessee State 440, Hampton with 700 points. You have taken Game 1 of the finals. Get ready. It's almost time for Game 2 of Honda Campus All-Star Challenge.
All right, everyone, we're going to keep the energy up, but before we start our next game, we're going to invite some very special people up to the stage. So first, from Tennessee State University, I'd like to bring up their longtime coach, John P. Miglietta, and also their alternate player, Aria Johnson. Come on up. And you can shake hands with
We're at the Black College Expo! We're super excited to be here, you know. Great opportunities here.
We about to turn this mother out.
It's time. The 2025 Honda Battle of the Bands. Are y'all ready to battle? The action is taking over the stands too. Make some noise for all this black excellence. Closing this thing out in style, Glorilla!
Thank y'all so much. I love y'all.
It's time to match wits with the champions in the HBCU Battle of Brains Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. Take it away, Ariana.
All right, here we are. We're ready for Game 2 of this best 2 of 3 championship series between Hampton University and Tennessee State University. Hampton won the first game, so if they win this match, they will be our champions for this year. But Tennessee State probably has a little something to say about that, and we'll look to get on the board and tie this up and force a final deciding match. All right, in the face-off positions for Hampton, we have Miles. And for Tennessee State, we have Tyler. We've met both of you guys, so we're just gonna get right to it. Tyler, you won the coin toss, so you'll be choosing first. Here are your categories. Law and Order, SV who? Only in October. Superior Structures, and Literary Schools.
Can we do only in October, please?
Right. Despite riots opposing his attendance, on October 1st, 1962, who became the first black student at the University of Mississippi? Tyler.
Roberts?
No, can you take it, Miles?
Edvers?
No, that was James Meredith. Let's try again, Tyler.
Can we do October again, please?
pleading no contest to tax evasion, which vice president resigned on October 10, 1973? Miles?
Agnew?
Yes, here's your bonus. Neptune was discovered in September 1846. What largest moon of Neptune was discovered just 17 days later in October?
Titan.
Triton. Needed that R, but you were pretty close. Let's try this one. A lieutenant general in his lifetime, in October of 1976, Congress posthumously promoted whom to the rank of general of the armies?
Bradley.
No, that was just George Washington. Category, Miles.
October.
October 1884 saw the Royal Observatory in what London suburb formally declared as the world's prime meridian? Miles?
Greenwich.
Yes, here's your bonus. The UK kicked off its first Black History Month in October 1987, with which Kwanzaa creator as a guest of the Greater London Council?
Karenga?
Yes, Maulana Karenga for 10. In mid-October 1981, 1 week after the assassination of Anwar Sadat, what country elected Hosni Mubarak as its new president?
Egypt.
All 20 on that bonus. Miles?
Superior structures.
17.5 miles of corridors, 131 stairways, and over 7,700 windows are all features of what building in Arlington, Virginia? Tyler?
Monticello?
No, can you take it, Miles?
The Capitol building.
No, that's the Pentagon. You're still in control though, Miles.
Structures.
In 2017, the Salesforce Tower ended the Transamerica Pyramid's 35-year reign as the tallest building in what West Coast city? Miles?
San Francisco?
The Bay. Here's your bonus. The western entrance to the Pariser Platz, Berlin's largest public square, is dominated by what triumphal arch, completed in 1791?
Brandenburg Arch?
Yes. Since 1989, a 71-foot-high pyramid made of 673 glass plates has served as a key entryway for what museum?
The Louvre?
The Louvre for 20 points.
Structures.
Miles. The captures of Kazan and of Astrakhan spurred the construction of what Moscow cathedral, named after a 4th century bishop? Miles.
St. Peter?
No, can you take it, Tyler?
The Kremlin?
No, that's St. Basil's Cathedral. Miles, category.
Literary schools.
While at Maine's Bowdoin College in the 1820s, Franklin Pierce was good friends with which author of the Scarlet Letter? Miles.
Hawthorne.
Hawthorne, also a shade of red. Here's your bonus. First-person narration has long been a hallmark of which San Francisco State grad who used it in his A Lesson Before Dying?
Steinbeck?
No, that was Ernest J. Gaines. Which Harlem Renaissance writer was still a student at NYU when he published Heritage in his first book of poetry, Color?
Hughes?
No, that's County Cullen. No points on that bonus, but you're still in control.
Schools. Yeah, literary schools.
Which 2020 cum laude Harvard graduate was nominated for a Best Spoken Word Poetry Album Grammy for Call Us What We Carry? Tyler?
Gorman?
Yes, you're in there. Here's your bonus for 20, then 10 points. Which Black poet went to Fisk, Penn, and Columbia, then taught at Virginia Tech for 35 years?
Giovanni?
For all 20 points. Category, Tyler.
We do literary schools, please.
Though not at the same time, Thornton Wilder, Jodi Picoult, and F. Scott Fitzgerald all attended what New Jersey Ivy League university? Miles?
Brown?
No, can you take it, Tyler?
Princeton.
Is in New Jersey. Here's your bonus. Among the published works from the which first Black PhD in philosophy from Princeton is commentary on his role in The Matrix? Answer team?
Jackson.
No, this was Cornel West.
Yeah.
Attending but not graduating from Princeton was which playwright of Morning Becomes Electra and Long Day's Journey into Night?
Wilson.
No, that's Eugene O'Neill. So no points on that bonus, but you did add to your score in the last couple minutes. 40 for Tennessee State, 80 for Hampton at the end of this first round.
Yep. We got this.
All right, and now we're ready for round 2 of game 2. We've met Dante from Hampton. Good to see you again. But we have a new player for Tennessee State. Hi, Anaya.
Hi.
So you are active in Swim 1922. Tell me about what this organization does.
Technically, it's a part of my organization, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. And what it did was it looked at the disparities in Black communities because, you know, it's almost become a joke that we can't swim. I can swim. And what they did was they partnered with the National Olympics Association to get people to come help teach people to swim. And it started with mothers because it was easier to coax them into learning how to swim because they pushed, well, what are you going to do if your baby falls into the water? And since then, we've been educating people on water safety and how to swim ever since.
That's awesome work. Swimming is my favorite mode of exercise here. Are you a fan of Simone Manuel? Wasn't she the first Black woman to get a gold medal in the 100-meter sprint? Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Anaya, because you all are down, but only by 40 points, not very much at all. You'll choose first from these 4 categories. The science of cooking. No, the other one. Split happens. And tribal talk.
Can I have the science of cooking, please?
A microwave oven cooks by heating water molecules in the food. If there's a fan circulating hot air, it's also using what C process to cook? Dante?
Convection.
Yeah, I like that air fryer I like. Mayonnaise, vinaigrette, and hollandaise sauce are what type of E mixture, combining liquids that are normally unblendable?
Emulsion.
Yes, for 10. An anaerobic form of metabolism, what microbial process helps create kombucha, kimchi, and yogurt?
Fermentation.
For all 20 points. Dante?
The science of cooking.
Tartar fruit with more pectin bakes more firmly. That's why many cooks prefer to make what type of pies with Granny Smiths? Anaya?
Apple pie.
The best kind of apples, yes. Dredge, raclette, spatchcock. Which technique splits a whole chicken down the back with the backbone removed?
Spatchcock.
For 10 points. The acid in citrus juices denatures fish flesh. It's like cooking but without heat. That's the science behind what Latin American seafood?
Ceviche.
For all 20 points. Anaya?
The science of cooking, please.
CH2O, NaHCO3, N2O. A leavening agent. Which of these is commonly known as baking soda? Dante?
NaHCO3.
Yes, here's your bonus. Seared foods owe their taste to melanoidins, produced when reducing sugars react with what type of acids that include glycine?
Amino acids.
Amino acids for 10. That melanoidin-producing reaction is named after which M French chemist who first described it in 1912?
Maillard.
Maillard for all 20 points. Dante category.
Tribal talk.
The medieval European Rus people are remembered today in the names of 2 modern nations, Russia and what B country? Dante.
Belarus.
Yes, for 10. Here's your bonus. The 12th century tale of bygone years is the primary chronicle of the Rus, compiled when what Ukrainian city was the Rus capital?
Kiev.
For 10 more. That chronicle says that in 907 AD, the Kievan Rus signed a peace treaty with what B Eastern Roman Empire?
Byzantine?
Yes, for 10 more. Category.
Tribal talk.
Which Polynesian people used large seagoing canoes called waka to reach New Zealand in the first half of the 14th century? Anaya.
Haka.
No, can you take it, Dante?
Maori.
The Maori, yes, here's your bonus. Malagasy is the most commonly spoken language on what island? The world's 4th largest.
Madagascar.
Yes, for 10. Madagascar's first humans arrived some 1,500 years ago after sailing thousands of miles in canoes from what 3rd largest island on Earth?
Papua New Guinea.
No, that's Borneo, but you're in control.
Tribal talk.
3,300 years ago, the Mycenaeans used Linear B script and spoke the earliest known form of what modern language, much heard along the Aegean? Dante?
Greek.
Greek is correct. For 5 points apiece and a 5-point bonus for all 3. Still undeciphered, Linear A script was used by the Minoans on what largest Greek island?
Crete.
For 5 points. 2 answers. In a circa 800 BC story, which poet used the ethnonyms Achaeans and Danans to describe the Mycenaeans besieging what city?
Homer and Troy.
All 20 points. Category, Dante.
No, the other one.
If it's a Netflix series, it's about an air-bending boy. If it's a James Cameron film, it's set on Pandora. What one-word name do they share? Dante?
Avatar.
I'm partial to the series myself. Reading the Tennyson poem with this title will take minutes, while what James Joyce work set on Bloomsday will take considerably longer.
Ulysses?
For 10 points. If you're looking for the Is It Me You're Looking For song, play Lionel Richie's, not Adele's, track with what title?
Hello?
Hello? Dante.
No, the other one.
If you book a flight to this city, make sure the ticket reads Oregon, or you could end up in what largest city in Maine? Anaya?
Portland.
Yes, you're back in there. Here's your bonus. Take care when booking a flight to this northern state capital, or you could end up in what Georgia city, home to an HBCU's Golden Rams?
Albany.
Albany, yes, Albany State Golden Rams. In Florida, it's the beachfront home of the Brevard Zoo, while in Australia, it's the beachfront capital of the state of Victoria. What city is it?
Melbourne.
Melbourne for that last 10 points to bring you up to a total of 100, and after one round, 250 for Hampton. We're now in round 3, and we have Jaron in the face-off position for Hampton and Morgan for Tennessee State. All right, we've met you guys. You ready? Buzzer's ready? All right, let's go. Morgan, you'll be choosing first from these categories. Sunset selfies, Franks for the memories, the Supreme Court, what are the chances?
I'll take sunset selfies, please.
Locals and tourists flock to Mallory Square for music and conch fritters, celebrating sunset in what southernmost lower 48 U.S. city? Morgan.
Miami?
No, can you take it, Jaron?
Florida.
No, Key West in Florida. Morgan category.
Sunset selfies.
Silhouettes of thorn trees and giraffes are prized backdrops for sunset selfies in Serengeti National Park in what East African country? Jaron.
Kenya?
No, can you take it, Morgan?
Ethiopia?
No, it was Tanzania. Tanzania. One more time, Morgan.
What are the chances?
Let's move to a new one. You flip a fair coin 9 times, and it comes up tails 9 times. If you flip it again, what is the probability that the result is tails? Morgan.
1/2.
Yeah, it doesn't change. Good job, 10 points. Flip a fair coin twice. What is the probability that the result is tails both times?
1/4.
Yes, for 10. Flip a fair coin 3 times. What is the probability that the result is tails exactly twice?
1/6.
Answer team?
1/8.
And that's 3/8. So 10 points on that bonus, but you're doing good.
What are the chances?
Roll a pair of fair 6-sided dice. What is the probability of getting a sum of exactly 11? Jaron?
1/9.
No, can you take it, Morgan?
1/3.
No, this is tough math. It's 1/18, or 2 out of 36. Let's try again, Morgan.
Thanks for the memories.
2013's Grammy for Best Urban Contemporary Album was won by which then 25-year-old Frank for his Channel Orange? Jaron?
Ocean.
Frank Ocean. Here's your bonus. Start spreading the news. Christopher Bro took the name Frank Ocean to honor which Frank who sang New York, New York?
Sinatra.
Yes, for 10. Dad to Dweezil and Moon Unit, which other musical Frank is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with his band, the Mothers of Invention? Answer team?
Smith.
It's a little before your time. That's Frank Zappa, but you're in control, Jaron.
Franks for the memories.
Howard Thomas Langella. With 8 straight seasons of 100 RBIs and 100 walks, which Frank was the big hurt? Jaron?
Thomas.
Yes, here's your bonus. After winning MVP in both leagues, which Frank became MLB's first black manager for the Cleveland Indians?
Robinson.
Yes, for 10. Which Frank's contribution to sports is his namesake Z ice resurfacer, seen at hockey and skating rinks around the world?
Zamboni.
Ever ridden one? It's pretty fun, right? Category, Jaron.
Franks for the memories.
His wife worked to support him in the early 1960s, freeing up which Frank to do the research for his magnum opus, Dune? Jaron?
Martin.
No, can you take it, Morgan?
Smith.
The writer of Dune, Frank Herbert. Frank Herbert. Jaron?
Supreme Court.
The first former public defender to become a Supreme Court justice, which Biden nominee is also the first black woman on the court? Jaron?
Jackson.
Ketanji Brown Jackson. Yes, here's your bonus. The Senate refused to vote on whose nomination to the High Court in 2016, but 5 years later confirmed him as Attorney General?
Garland.
Yes, for 10. Court nominees are first referred to what Senate committee before advancing to the full Senate, no matter how that committee votes?
The Judiciary Committee.
For all 20 points on that bonus. Category.
Supreme Court.
Judicial review was established by what case, with a majority opinion stating a law repugnant to the Constitution is void? Morgan?
Marbury v. Madison.
Yes, good guess, for 10. Which Chief Justice wrote the majority opinion in Marbury v. Madison?
I don't know.
Jay?
No, that was John Marshall. Let's try this one.
Okay.
What 20th century decision said that neither separation of powers nor a need for confidentiality justifies absolute presidential immunity?
Go for it.
United States versus Nixon.
Oh, you're 2 for 2 on guesses. Category.
I'll take sunset selfies.
Just got it in there.
Okay.
It's said the sunsets over Guanabara Bay are so spectacular. People actually applaud along Ipanema Beach in what Brazilian city? Jaron.
Rio.
For the last bonus of this round. Impress your followers with a sunset selfie beside a windswept DVD tree from Eagle Beach on what A of the ABC islands?
Aruba.
Aruba for 10. Brightly painted cliffside houses seem to glow and change colors as the sun sinks into the Pacific off what second largest city in Chile? Answer team?
Santiago.
No, that was Valparaiso. So you didn't get that last 10 points, but you did very well in this round, both teams. You have a score of 350 for Hampton, 140 for Tennessee State, as we move to the ultimate challenge. All right, and we're ready for this ultimate challenge round of game 2. Teams, you know the rules, 60 seconds, 10 questions. If you get them all, $500 from American Honda for your institution. Tennessee State, you're behind, so you need 5 answers to take the lead. And we'll turn to you first to select from these categories. The ABCs of physics, women's rights, you ought to know, and nearest national capitals. What will you choose?
ABCs of physics, please.
All right. ABCs of physics. What term used in physics and starting with either A, B, or C is AC, electrical current?
Alternate.
No. An inwardly curving lens?
Convex.
No. An elementary particle with integer spin?
Theta.
No. The constant that defines the Kelvin scale?
Celsius.
No. The SI unit of charge?
Coulomb.
Yes. A wave's midline to peak height?
Breast.
No. Explosive start?
Big Bang.
Yes. Ordinate's counterpart in graphing?
Coordinate.
No. The SI unit of current?
Ampere.
Yes. The B in BTU?
Bytes.
No. AC, electrical current?
Alternate.
No. An inwardly curving lens?
Concave.
Yes. An elementary particle with integer spin?
Alpha.
No. The constant that defines the Kelvin scale?
Pass.
Pass. A wave's midline
Press.
to peak height? No. Ordinate's counterpart in graphing?
Pass.
Pass. The B in BTU?
Butane.
No. All right, you got 4 out of 10. That was a tough one. Let's go over the ones you missed. AC, electric unit, you were saying alternate. I needed alternating, and going back and forth. An elementary particle with integer spin, that's a boson. The constant that defines the Kelvin scale, the Boltzmann constant.
Oh.
Constant. A wave's midline to peak height, crest was a good guess, but this is amplitude.
Okay.
Ordinate's counterpart in graphing, abscissa or abscissae. And the B in BTU.
Is this becquerels?
No, this is a location. It's British thermal unit.
Oh.
BTU.
My poor physics teacher.
Ah.
All right, so we have one more round to play, Hampton. What'll it be?
You ought to know.
You ought to know. Identify these people, places, and things from the aughts from 2000 to 2009. 2005's epic, yes. 2002's Winter Olympics host city.
Vancouver.
No. The group behind the 9/11,
Al-Qaeda.
yes. Winner of both FIFA Women's World Cups.
Germany.
Yes. He released the album
Usher.
Confessions, yes. The Aussie founder of WikiLeaks.
Assange.
Yes. African American chair of the RNC.
Kane.
No. The new nation with its
East
capital
Timor.
at, yes. Iraq's deposed dictator,
Hussein.
yes. This company released its GameCube.
Nintendo?
Yes. 2002's Winter Olympics host city?
Sochi?
No. African American chair of the RNC.
Steel.
Yes. 2002's Winter Olympics host city?
Montreal.
No. 2002's Winter Olympics host
Pyongyang?
city? No. 2002's Winter Olympics host city?
Denver?
No. 2002's Winter Olympics host city?
Seattle?
No. 2002's Winter Olympics host city?
London.
No. 2002's Winter Olympics host city? Oh, so close. Very nice job. Okay, quickly, the one you missed. 2002's Winter Olympics host city? Salt Lake City. But with a final score of 340 for Tennessee State, 800 for Hampton, you are our 2025 Honda Campus All-Star Challenge National Champions. Congratulations, guys. Great job. Great job.
Let's give it up for the first time national champions from Hampton University. Let's keep that applause and energy up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can take your seats. We're about to do our trophy presentation.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you today for the 36th Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. It's been exciting to watch this tournament unfold over the past few days. Congratulations to all the teams on how well you represented your schools. You make me proud that Honda is a part of this very special program. Now, it is my pleasure to award the 2025 Honda Campus All-Star Challenge National Championship Trophy to Hampton. On behalf of Honda, the school will receive a grant of $100,000. I really hope this experience inspires you to continue to live your dreams and to use your determination and your network of friends for life to make those dreams come true. Thank you and congratulations.
Let's keep it up for Hampton University.